Hello, everyone. Let's get started. Please download Laboratory 16 notebook file and these two CSV file. And the last file is related to today's exercise. Please also download it to the same folder. And I received several emails about how to download this CSV file. So you can use right click and then download link the file. All right. If you click it directly, it will show you like they are like a plain text file, right? So you can use right click to download. All right. Okay, so let's get started. Today we are going to learn another important package. It's called matplotlib. And first, please identify your host name, username, and current information, and input your name, your R number, and the date. Okay. Because we have already learned how to use NumPy to deal with the array data and how to use the pandas to deal with like the table or CSV files, right? And today, after we have the data, we need to learn how to show the data, how to construct the graphs to represent the data, right? So here, that's why we need to use the matplotlib to know how to construct the line charts, scatter plot, bar chart, and histograms. Okay, so let's see them one by one. First one, we will learn how to construct the bar graphs. Okay, so first one, this is the first example. If you want to draw a bar chart, you need to have at least two lists, right? One is used to represent the x-axis, and one list is used to represent y-axis, right? Here, bar charts are good play tools to represent like a category information. So, for instance, here we have a list named ice cream. Not a list; it's a dictionary, right? Ice cream is a dictionary. There are three elements, the key value pairs. The key would be chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla, and the value would be some numbers. And after that, please import the matplotlib.pyplot. It's a subplot. It's a sub package, right? It's a Python plotting library. And after that, you need to use two lists to get the keys and the values from the dictionary, because we need to use it to represent the x-axis or y-axis, right? And after that, you can print these two lists, and then
this is not even affected by the characters that are like in front of him. Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! This guy was shooting at me. He wasn't even affected at all.
Jesus.
With fiber.
Okay. Okay, so next one is we need to generate a object from the figure class. So we need to have a placeholder for the figure, right? And we can set the size of the figure. And after that, we can plot the bar chart. First thing, we need to use the bar function, right? matplotlib.pyplot.bar, and then let's check the arguments. The first argument would be the x-axis list, right? So the first one, flavors, here is a list to represent the x-axis, and second one, the cartoons, is used to represent the y-axis. And you can also set the color of your bars and the width of your bars, right? And after that, you can set x label, y label to set some labels for x-axis and y-axis. And after that, you can set the title of your figure and show that. Okay, so please run it, and you see that these two lists, right? So first one is all about the keys. So about the categories of the ice creams, that's in the x-axis, and the y is about the numbers, integers, right? And after that, bar plot X, Y, color, width, X label, Y label, and the title. Okay, so it's about the bar charts, bar graphs. But for now, you see, if we need to use a function, we need to write very long, right? We need to write matplotlib.pyplot. It's very long, right? So that's why we need to use this rename principle here. We revise it to use import pyplot as PLT. We rename it, right? And after that, when we need to use the functions, we only need to write plt.bar, right? plt.bar, and then set a different color and different width. For the rest of the code is exactly the same as the first example, right? So run in, but it's simpler, right? Because here we rename it as PLT. Okay. Current screen in storage, so you can set that this is a title, right? This is a title. Flavors here is the X label, and the number of the components in stock, it is Y, the label for Y axis. So, okay, so any questions so far? All right, let's continue. The first two examples are using matplotlib to generate the bar plots, right? Later we will show you here. This example is to show that we can use the pandas to build the bar charts. So first, please import pandas as PD, and then please define a dictionary and use the pandas.dataframe to read the dictionary, and the keys of the dictionary are column names, and then the value would be the content, right? Show that the head, and after that you can use dataframe.plot.bar to show that X flavor is X would be the column name. Second one would be another column name, and set as X axis and Y axis, and the color set to the color, right? And you can change the color to right. So it's easier, right? So, but you need to know how to use the matplotlib to draw the plots. But the pandas is very convenient. If you want to use pandas, you can just use the dataframe.plot.bar to show that. Okay. All right. So, any questions so far? All right. Next one is about a concrete example. It's about language bars. So consider the dataset defined as data. It's about the language. Programming languages, C, C++, Java, and Python, which lists student count by programming language in some schools. So we need to produce a bar chart to show the number of the students in each language, right? That's why we need to import NumPy as NP and import matplotlib as PLT, pyplot as PLT, right? And after that, please use a dictionary to store it. Use a square curly brackets, and after that you need to use the data keys and values and store them into variables, list variables, right? And after that, please generate a figure object and creating a bar plot.bar, X axis, Y axis, and the width and the color. Okay. And set the X label, Y label, and set the title and the show. All right. Yeah, so it's about the plot. Actually, you can change it. For instance, you can change it to it's very thick, right? So you can change that by yourself. Okay, so next one is about the how to plot a horizontal bar chart. So it is a little bit different. First, you also need to define a dictionary and generate two lists. After that, you need to use a different function. It's called bar h. here is a bar, right? Here bar is a defaultly, it's vertical, and bar H means horizontal bar chart. And the argument would be different. In bar function, we need to use the width to set the width of each bar, right? And in bar H function, you need to set the height of the of each bar and print out the X label and Y label and title. Okay, it's a result. It's a different, right? So please make sure to know. Make sure you know how to use a bar H function. All right. Okay. So any questions so far? Is they are about the bar charts? Of course, the value verb. Okay, sure. So here, keys and values, right? So because the data is a dictionary, right? So we learned the data structures. The dictionaries, they are the elements are key value pairs. For instance, here in this data dictionary, there are four elements, and the first element would be C and 20. So it's a key value pair, and C would be the key, and 20 would be the values. Okay, and after that, C++ is also the second key, third key, the last key, right? And you can use data is a dictionary, and data.keys, it will collect all the keys from the dictionary and generate a list. You can use a list to do the typecasting. All right, and after that, you can print. So for instance, you can print courses and print the values. Right, so you see the courses would be the keys of the data, keys of the data dictionary. So C, C++, Java, and Python. And the values would be each values corresponding to each key, okay? So 20, 15, 30, and 35. That's why you can use them to draw the figures, because you have the same numbers of two lists, right? And after that, you can here the Python then is 20, right? And Java is 15. Sorry, C here, C is 20. Here C is 20 and 15, 30, 35. So that's why you need, so basically you need to use two lists to generate a figure, right? One list is used to represent the x-axis, and one used to represent the y-axis. And here we can use a dictionary to easily do that, because here they are corresponding. Each key has each value, so they will have the same numbers, right? So that's why we choose to use a dictionary and collect the keys and the values and generate a figure. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, next one is about a line chart. So a line chart is very important. It's used to display information as a series of data points called markers connected by a straight line segments. So for instance, here is we want to represent the relationship between the time and the speed. Okay, so first thing you need to create two lists, right? And please make sure they have the same number of the elements. So from 1 to 6, and then speed from 0 to 45.6. And after that, first thing you need to build a drawing canvas, or you can call it a placeholder. And then please use a plot, plt.plot function. Sorry. In the bar chart, you need to use a plt.bar, right? And if you want to have a line chart, you need to use plt.plot. And then time, this list would be the x-axis, and speed would be y-axis. C means the color, right? And the marker, you can set different pattern of the marker, and then line width, and you can set the title, and you can also set the X label and the Y label. All right, show that, and let's check out this. Sorry, right, see the result here. Time, the x-axis would be the time from 0 to 6, right? That's why here 0, 1 to 6, and the y-axis is the speed from 0 to 45.6. And here is we set line width would be 0, then there are only some dots. Here there are only some dots, right? So please make sure if you want to have a line, have a straight line or a curve, you need to set something. For instance, 0.5. So it's a, and if it's at S2, it's a thicker line, right? And we can set 1 by default. And here is about the markers. So you can have a different style of the markers. For instance, you can have a star. Here is a star, right? Let's set it at a 0. Then you can find out it's a star, right? And the V is a triangle, right? And actually, you can use a greater than sign. This is another kind of a triangle. You see, it's another kind of triangle, but I think I cannot remember, but you can use SC or I'm not sure, circle or sorry, a dot. You can use dot. Then you can see there are dot and the square. I'm not sure, but you can explore it by yourself. You can use V, or you can use greater than, or you can star, or you can use dot. It's different kind of a Q, I think. Oh, sorry, not Q. But you can choose the different patterns. Okay, 1, yeah. It's about the basic line chart. And the second one, we want to, if we want to add a linear fit, so for now it's like a curve, right? If we want to find a linear fit, we need to use this this function, right? We need to define a function, and we need to have a second, the third list, and then use it to generate a line chart in the same figure. We need to plot a second line based on the linear model. So it's a linear model, right? And you have this intercept would be 0, and the slope would be 7.6. And after that, you run your solution here is about function. The function name would be a y model. And argument, there are 3 arguments. The first one would be the value of x, and the value of slope, and the value of intercept. And then after that, it is this function, right? And return the result of y, a value of y. And it is a list. Slope would be slope, and the intercept 0.0. And you set a from range 0 to 6. And after that, you use this function to generate each one. You generate the, for instance, here time 0, time I means 0, and the slope intercept, and the second loop is 1 until the last element would be 6. Y model 6, 7.6, and 0. Then it will give you the result, and it will be stored in the y-axis. So y series would be the third column, the third list, right? And after that, you build a square drawing canvas and plot these 2 line charts in the same figure. The first one will be the raw data, time, speed from here, right? Time and speed, they are from here. It's a raw data or observational data, right? And the second one would be the linear model you generate. Time y series as a y-axis, and color is blue, right? Show that you see the result. Okay, the first one would be okay. So here you can use this way to create another kind of a triangle, right? Different angles, triangle, and see blue, and then set the. You can also set the markers and set the line width. But no, maybe perhaps not this one. You can set a star. Okay, you can compare it with them. You will see y series is always greater than speed, the raw data. actually it's not a good linear fit, right? Yeah, so it's about the second example. So any questions so far for the line charts? Okay, next one is about so how to find a better fit. For now, you don't need to learn how to find a better fit, but later we'll learn how to generate or how to find the better fit by yourself. But here I will tell you, there is a better fit. You can change the value of the intercept. Then you can generate a new series with a different interceptor, right? And plot them again. So you see here, it's a good one, right? It's a better, sorry, it's a better line to represent them. Yeah, so in this example, we learned how to define a function and how to use a function to generate two lists and how to use this list to draw a line chart in the same figure, okay? Okay, so it's about the line chart. And next one is about scatter plot. A scatter plot is a type of a plot of mathematical diagrams to display the values for tabulating two variables for a set of data. Let's give you a concrete example. The first thing you need to download this CSV file, right? Galton subset CSV file. Check out. Let's check. There are 3 columns: father, mother, and son. It's about, I think, the height, right? So first thing you need to read this CSV file, read into a data frame, right, from the pandas. So please make sure you have already imported pandas as PD and write. So you see, and after that, after you write, actually there are 3 columns, right? But you can use this way, df child, to make a copy of the last column, the third columns, the second columns. So you see the content are exactly the same, right? And if you do that, there will be 4 columns child, right? And after that, if you don't want the third one, you can drop them. You can drop the column name, and axis would be 1, and then don't leave it as blank. In place is true. It means the 4th column will replace the 3rd column in the 3rd column. Okay, and check the first 5 rows. You see father, mother, and child. Okay, so it's about data frame. All right, and after that, you also need to have some lists. In this way, we have 3 lists, right? We use dad, mom, and son list to store each column of this data frame, right? Dad is used to store the first column, the 3rd column, and the 2nd column and 3rd column. And after that, please make sure to build another canvas. So if you want to plot a scatter plot, you need to have a square drawing canvas, for instance, 10 and 10. But for line chart or bar plot, you can set 10 and 5. Okay, so it means a different ratio, right? For instance, let me show you. It's 10 and 10. Oh, sorry, I forgot to write it inside. 10 and 10, right? And after that, scatter plot would be sun would be x-axis, this list. That the first column will be the y-axis, and set color is red. Okay, show that. Okay, you can also set the x label, y label, and the title. Okay, but it would be good if you use that 10 and 10 is a square ratio plot, ratio canvas. So it is about the relationship between the head of a son and the dad. And next one is about the second scatter plot is about the son and mom, right? You can use a different color to differentiate them. blue one, and set child hat and parents hat leggings show. See the result. Okay, so the red one represents the father's scatter plot, blue one is the mother's scatter plot, and here is the legend. The legend is used to show father and mother, different color of father and mother plots, right? And actually, there are some arguments. Actually, you can move the position of the leggings. It will be upper right corner or upper left corner by default. But if you want to change it, you can learn how to use the arguments, right? But not in this class. It's too complicated, right? You can explore it by yourself, yeah, and show that. I think so. In this example, we used matplotlib to show how to draw two scatter plot in the same figure, right? And after that, we can also use the pandas, use a data frame to do it easily. So for instance, here you can use the data frame. So data frame is defined here, right? Data frame. And then plot scatter and set X would be which column. You need to search the column. And please make sure you have the correct column name. Okay. Child and father, and it is used to represent the only one scatter plot. And if you want to draw two scatter plot in the same figure, you need to have another variable used to it is used to like the AX is used to store the basic or the base subplot. First one here is the same as this one, right? Same as this one, but we use the AX to store it and do that again. It means we want to draw this plot again, but based on this subplot. And after that, show that, set X label and the Y label. All right. And here it's give you the label of the leggings, label father and label mother, right? Again, it's AX, but the arguments, how to draw something based on the other figures. So, let me make a summary. So I think perhaps you write shorter codes in pandas if you want to draw a scatter plot, but I think you can use matplotlib to have more options. You can set different colors, labels, and other options. You can set the position of the leggings. So I recommend you to use the matplotlib for plots, or plots them, not pandas. Although they are shorter, but I think they are not good enough as the matplotlib. All right. Okay, so they are about the scatter plot. Any questions so far? All right, so next one is about the histograms. So histograms to use to construct the like the first step to construct a histogram. The first step is to use the bin, the range of the values, divide the entire range of values into a series of intervals, and then count how many values fall into each interval, right? Check out. So the first one, we need to import the top movies CSV file, right? Movies, there are multiple. There are 5 columns, right? 5 columns, right? Show the first 5 as sample. They are all classic movies, right? And then you can use the gross to make a histograms, gross histograms, and it will and all the gross have been divided into 10 bins or intervals and count how many numbers. So the y-axis would be the numbers of the count, and year is the hist year. Or you can change the bins. You can change the number of the intervals. If you change it as 100, it's very smaller, right? Because you have already divided gross into 100 intervals, right? And then try some other things like Let me try. So for instance, if you set the bins at 5 or 6, see, each interval would be very large, right? 6. And 10 would be defaultly, I think. Oh, yeah, 10 would be defaultly. Let's set it as 20. Sorry. 20. Yeah, so it's smaller, but works fine, right? It's about how to generate a histogram with a data frame. Okay, so into this class we learned 4 kinds of plots. The bar chart, right? The bar chart, you can use the matplotlib.pyplot.bar, and you can also use a bar h to plot a horizontal bar chart. And for line chart, you need to use a plt.plot bar, and you need to set a marker, right? And the line width. For scatter plot, you need to use a plt.scatter, or you can just use the df data frame.plot scatter. And for histograms, you can just use a data frame and dot histograms hist and set the bin numbers. Okay, and here is the diagrams about matplotlib, so you can download it and learn some functions and learn the samples of the functions. Okay, here are some documents you can read. And next one is about today's exercise. Actually, half as romantic. So remember hopeless romantic curve from lab 10. Actually, because we have already deleted the last example, so I create another file and upload it to the to the labs, so you can download the last one, hopeless romantic, and then you can find out the original code of the exercise. All right, here please rewrite the code to only display the figure for positive x values. Don't forget to decorate the figure with the title and the labels. In this example, I give you the code to represent a hard curve, right? A hopeless romantic curve. But in today's exercise, you only need to display the right half, and right half, it means the positive x values, right? And please rewrite it. I think there are 4 steps you need to write the codes. Do the plotting and add a label and set the limit x-axis. And actually, I didn't teach you today. You need to explore it by yourself, all right? And at the title, at the label, and at the title, you can learn from the following. You can learn from today's example and plotting. And actually, I give you the code, so you can copy the code and learn how to revise the code, all right? And so correct output. Yes, I think so. Yeah. So I think you need to write some comments if you write the codes. Okay. So yeah. So please write more comments. It's a good habit. All right. So that's all I want to share today. And if you don't have any other questions, please feel free to leave the meeting. Have a good weekend, and see you on next Monday. All right. And if you have some questions, you can stay here and we can have a discussion. Yeah. Thank you, guys. How we able to set the limit with that within the graphs? Yeah, actually, I think you can learn from the diagrams here. You can set the label. Yeah, axis margins. Yeah, you can use the xlim to set it, or yeah, because I didn't teach you. I want you to explore it. I want you to read the menu and learn how to set the limitation about the axis and the y axis. Okay. I will give you one hint. You can use xlimit function or method from the matplotlib. Yeah, it's very easy to search. And actually you can learn from the diagram. Yeah. Okay, any other questions?